People look at the Attitude Era with rose colored glasses. Go back and watch the Attitude Era today. Does not hold up.
No.
Wasn't good shit. It was great in the moment.
Bruce Prichard has come out and said that we're watching the WWE Attitude Era with a rose-colored lens.
What?
Let me repeat that. Brother Love has come out and said that the Attitude Era does not hold up today. I strongly disagree with that. The era that went head-to-head with WCW, that was losing for 83 weeks and came back and ended up putting that company out of business, doesn't stack up. That's absolutely wrong. That was the era when people were out there to compete, when people wanted that slot, when people knew for a fact that this is a make or break situation. You had enemies on the other side. The storylines were hidden. The theme music were hidden. And I'm going to get into the theme music as well, because he also made other comments about our boy, and he's saying the themes aren't good. They sound too generic. They're too similar. I don't know what his gripe is with the past, but this ain't it. This ain't a win. You need to understand what's going on. But if we go back into it, the Attitude Era is one of the greatest eras out there. We can obviously go back and watch it at any time on WWE Vault, and you can see the classics. Now, if you're going to want to watch it in chronological order, so that way you could see how everything breaks down, there's a couple Raws you'll have to go through, and then when SmackDown actually kicks off, you'll have to figure out the balance between when to watch Raw and SmackDown, because there was obviously a time where Raw superstars were going to SmackDown and tearing down the place. We have to understand that. It's all on the vault. It's all documented. The Attitude Era was one of the best eras. I can understand financially where you had specific sponsors that you couldn't work with because of the content may have been a bit raunchy. Understandable. So as fans, we don't watch the show for financial gain. That's on the back end. But if we're talking about pure entertainment, memorable moments, the Attitude Era gave us that. What we're doing, or what we're seeing today, we're not going to remember that. It's not going to stand the test of time because it's not memorable. Because right now, one of our best superstars are not even on the show weekly, not even monthly. Roman Reigns, part-time superstar, and I get he's earned his place. He did his thing during COVID, He gets his vacation time. He has a nice lucrative contract, but that messes with the continuity of the programming. We have to wait a couple months, and then he comes back for a cheap pop. Versus the Attitude Era where we had Austin every week, twice a week. The Rock, twice a week. Kurt Angle, Triple H, DX. Too Cool, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian. We could list a whole bunch of people. So when you say that, it doesn't stack up, based on whose standards? And the fact that Bruce is on the writing team is a bit concerning. Because do you guys care about what you're writing now, or are you guys just kind of filling out the 2.5 hour time slot and then moving on to next week? Because there's a lot of things that are not connecting. They're definitely not connecting. So we got to figure out what's happening with that statement, because it's frustrating as a fan to know that this was the quality that we were getting consistently. There's no more twists and turns in the product. It's just about, okay, we'll do our 4 matches, and then there's no payoff. There's no more payoffs. You're talking about getting the most out of the card. I'm getting more advertisements out of the card. There's nothing happening on the pay-per-views anymore. Sorry, the PLEs. Nothing's happening anymore. So, again, I want everyone to sit down and think about that. How can this be a true statement? And this is mainly for the younger fans, because if you've never sat down and watched WWE Attitude Era live, when Raw and SmackDown was really cooking, when DX had everyone in a chokehold telling everyone to suck it, it's going to be a very hard argument. You're going to have to figure out that order chronologically. Nothing beats the Attitude Era. The closest thing that we have is Ruthless Aggression Era. That was good. That was great. Those things tapered into each other, and it made great programming. When we started going into the PG, you guys leaned a little bit too much to the left, and it fell off, right? So it's not like you guys said, okay, well, we're gonna get out of the teen 13 era. You guys just stopped putting effort into the storylines, and things just weren't good. They were corny. And now you guys are talking about, PG family friendly, but your prices aren't PG. You expect families to come to WrestleMania, spend 8 grand, and not even get floor seats? And before I forget, let's just circle back to our boy Jim Johnston. He's made everyone's entrance in the Attitude Era and in the Ruthless Aggression Era at a time where you could actually tell who's coming out. Everyone's theme was very distinguished. You knew who was coming out, whether it's Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Too Cool, Kai and Tai, Hardy Boys, Dudleys. You knew who was coming out. Every Royal Rumble, people got a pop because you knew. You'll be watching the programming today. Finn Balor's new theme sucks. You don't even know who's coming out. Again, top tier master. It's a masterclass that the Attitude Era gave us. They knew when to build the storyline and then tailor the theme to each character so you knew what was going on. You honestly can't beat that. There are people who are still holding on to some songs. The Rock's theme is still Jim Johnston's. He's not letting go of that. A lot of wrestlers are trying to go back to their previous themes. Some of it may be CFO money sign, but Jim set the bar very high. The comments of everything sounding the same is crazy. I'll play the clip for you.
Contribution to the business in general.
Sure.
Jim wrote the soundtrack for a lot of people's youth. The issue becomes with only having one person to do that. After a while, it all starts to sound the same.
But everyone, just like, comment, and subscribe. Get your feedback in there. I want to know if you feel the same way, or do you agree with Brother Love in this situation? Thanks for watching.